Hello, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Nat.
And welcome to
When Mourning Comes.
Scream, cry, yell, why did it have to happen? It hurt so bad. You thought the pain would never end. We've come to share some hope and help you realize the sun will rise again. That's when morning comes.
Hello, and good morning, everybody. Listen, today is Father's Day. We're filming on Father's Day, so we want to say Happy Father's Day to all of the fathers, all the father figures.
We're filming on Father's
That's what I
Day,
said.
but it's going to air
Right.
on the last Wednesday.
Right, so that's why I said we're filming on Father's Day.
Just making
So
sure.
happy Father's Day to all of the fathers to be, grandfathers, godfathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, whatever your role may be. Happy Father's Day. Sugar daddies, all of those roles.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day,
Yeah.
okay? We are filming episode 6 of When Mourning Comes. That's what I said.
I know.
6. Do you hear that?
Do you want to tell them what episode 6 is? Not the name, but
You tell them what?
it's the season finale.
We weren't gonna say that at front.
I'm sorry. I'm just so sad.
We were not gonna tell them at the beginning. You forgot we had talked about that earlier.
Yeah,
We weren't
but I
gonna
just got
mention
so
it.
sad.
We weren't gonna mention it at first, cause that's all y'all gonna think about the whole show is that this is the season finale. But we'll come back to that, okay?
Yeah.
Rewind. It's episode 6, and now honestly, I didn't know how many episodes we were gonna do
Yeah.
when we first started When Mourning Comes. But I am grateful for the journey that we have been on so far. So if this is your first time, welcome. Now, if this is your first time and we have had 6 episodes,
Something wrong.
come on now, okay? Come on, do better. Do
Yeah.
better. Go back to number 1 and catch up, all right? But for those that, if it is your first time, we want to remind you guys that we created this space after we lost our mom in 2022. And so we created this space, girl, right when she said we lost our mom. Every episode that we have filmed, we have had a picture of our mama sitting right beside us. Y'all, we walked off and left her
Left Mama.
at home.
And y'all know we travel with Mama every
Lord,
episode.
so listen.
Mama is at the house.
So listen, for those people who have been so used to seeing Mama, please forgive us today. Please forgive us.
Act like she here.
You know she is here in our hearts,
Yeah.
always, okay? So after we lost Mom, we wanted to do something to cherish her memory and just keep things going. So we decided to create When Mourning Comes for the riders. And why do we call y'all the riders? Well, we look at grief a lot as a roller coaster, right? A roller coaster that you're on. And as a rider of grief, the reason we say it's a roller coaster because when you're experiencing grief, you're going every way. I mean, grief will turn you every which way but loose, right? You got turns and twists and spins and it's
flips.
fast and it's slow. And right when you think it's coming to a stop, it takes you on another loop. And so sometimes as you're riding, you may be on a roller coaster by yourself and you're riding that ride by yourself. You also may be on the roller coaster and there's somebody sitting beside you and they're there to support you and to ride with you and hold your hand and, wipe your tears, those kind of things. So this podcast is for you as well. Or you might be on the ground and you're looking up saying, hurry up because I'm tired of y'all screaming, yelling, crying, and I just want this ride to stop. If that's you, this space is for you too, right?
Not knowing that while you're watching, it could be your turn to get on that roller coaster soon.
I swear, I promise.
So while you're watching, you're seeing what everybody else is going through on a roller coaster, and hey, you may have to experience it soon. So,
And so when you think about grief, it's not just the loss of someone. You may lose something. You may lose a job. You may lose your home. You can lose, you can grieve just about anything. And so the process is the same. Those emotions are the same. So that's what this space is here for, okay? So we want to just thank you to the supporters who have been here for us through all 6 of these episodes. Thank you to the sponsors who have been here for us and sponsor our journey. First and foremost, we want to thank you. Give a shout out to Lopez the Barber. As you see, we're in a different location today. We are in Alliance Barbershop.
yeah.
Lopez the Barber. So we want to give a big shout out to him. You should see his contact information coming up somewhere right about now. Okay, give him a hand. Everybody give him a hand. All right.
Shout out to Lopez.
Thank you so much for allowing us to come in and invade your space for a minute. So if you're looking for a barber, looking for a place to come and get your barbershop therapy, Lions is the place, all right? So I want to thank you to him. We also want to thank Joseph Buckner of Heritage Funeral Services. He is our episode sponsor for the month of June. So we want to say thank you to Joseph Buckner.
Based out of Terry, Mississippi.
Terry, Mississippi in the house. We want to say thank you to him. And if you just find yourselves needing a funeral service, call Mr. Joseph Buckner, all right? Okay, listen, we're going to go on to our morning news. Morning news, we don't have much because for the last 6 episodes, part of the news we come to tell you guys to be respectful in the comments. You really hadn't had to be told that because y'all have been one time.
They got a little rowdy when we posted the first.
Look, the last men's episode,
Made
okay?
them feel some type of way.
We got a couple comments, you know, that said a few things, and we were like, okay, that's sweet. So listen, we want to remind you guys that this space was created because, number one, we needed to be able to share our view of grief and our experiences of grief as we experience it. But not only that, but to share that apparently we're not the only ones that experience these things. So to give other people who experience grief an opportunity to feel seen, heard, and have a community to say, you know what, I've experienced the same thing. If you have never experienced anything that we talk about in this space, I'm so proud and happy for you because you are lucky that you have never experienced some of those things.
And we pray that you never
never have to. However, there are some who have experienced the same things, and we want to leave that space open for them, okay? So it's only been 1 or 2 comments, but it's okay. We welcome all comments because even the negative ones just allow us opportunity to grow and to reevaluate some things. So praise God, okay, for your negativity. All right. That was cute. Thank you. I tried. Okay. A couple of things we want to also remind you. We also want to always leave you with some tools and resources when we leave this space, okay? So one of the tools we always talk about is 988. If you find yourself in a mental health crisis and you need some immediate services and someone to reach out to 24 hours a day, you can call or text 988. And if you find yourself in need of a counselor, you want to start counseling services, go on Psychology Today and you can research any kind of counselor you want, and they'll have a list of counselors out there that you can reach and start some counseling services, okay?
And we featured a few over the past episodes, so I mean that is another reason to go back and see those therapists that we have featured. So you may want to call them and reach out and set an appointment with them.
Yep. So, as a recap of our last episode, as you see, we're not, like I said, in our regular studio. We're in the barbershop because the responses from When Men Mourn Part 1 were off the charts. Okay, you guys had a lot to say about Part 1 of When Men Mourn.
I don't know if y'all got tired of seeing us.
That may be what it was.
Hearing us talking, but
they were like, finally, they got some more people in the room with them. Or maybe it was the fact that men had the opportunity to share, and that's not often given to men. A space to be authentic, a space to be vulnerable. The most important word to me is a space to be vulnerable. And so you guys were excited to see that men had that space. And what I heard was that you guys learned a lot. So you were able to pull from some of the things that the men said, and then you can apply them to some of the men in your life. So because it was such a popular topic, we decided to run it back. Okay, so we are here for episode 6, and we are doing When Men Mourn Part 2. We are here with some wonderful men once again, okay? They told us we were not going to be the hosts, we're just going to be facilitators. So once again, I'm going to be Oprah and Gail, or she might be Oprah and Gail, whatever. We're just going to be here to narrate this thing for them, okay? We got a few familiar faces from our past episode, but then we have a few new faces as well. So just as always, we want this space to be authentic. We want you guys to feel free, to be able to share, to talk. Just put it out there, okay? So what we'll do is we'll start episode 6, When Men Mourn Part 2. We'll just let the gentlemen go around and introduce themselves. You don't have to give your biography. about all the wonderful things that you guys have done.
Save it for your Facebook.
Give us a brief introduction of just who you are, and we'll go from there. So we'll start on either side.
Well, I'm Ralph Horn. I'm here, like I said earlier, it's Father's Day, so 1 minute at a time. So,
Yeah.
My name is Xavier Levy. I'm a native of Jackson, currently residing in Clinton, a father of 3, and a mourner of my mother. I lost my mother at the age of 19.
My name is Rafe Williams. I'm a mourner of my mother, stepfather, baby mama, cousins, friends, aunties, godmothers, host of people. So I'm mourning a lot of people every day, all day.
Yeah.
Over here.
Jeff Davis, mourning my my mom, my dad, brother, uncle, sometimes myself.
Okay.
Michael Bookhart. I'm mourning the loss of my father back in 2014 and also my aunt who passed away in Maryland.
My name is Marcus Singleton. I'm mourning both parents and grandparents.
My name is Jason Gibson, native of Jackson, Mississippi, mourning all my grandparents, but more recently, my father on May the 11th, 2023.
So we want to welcome the new faces and the faces that were here on last episode to When Men Mourn Part 2. We're going to jump into some questions. Like we said, this is going to be authentic and vulnerable, and you guys just let it flow, all right? So we got some questions, and they're just to start the conversation off. It's not a question and answer, your turn, my turn. We're just going to start it off, okay? I think Ned got the first question.
Yeah, so you guys just told us what you're mourning or grieving. And so I kind of want you to dig a little deeper. Tell us the role that they played in your life and why it has been the most impactful for you. And we can start wherever you would like, or we can call some names like we do at church. Let's hear about it, Marcus.
Let's see. My grandmother, who was my superwoman, that's who really raised me until I later on moved with my biological mother around the age of 13. They both played a real pivotal role. They're the reason I'm musically inclined.
Mm-hmm. You are that.
Glory to God. Man, I honestly don't believe I have grieved.
Okay.
Most people who are creatives, we're not taught to grieve. Growing up in church, you hear about grief. Mm-hmm. They don't teach about grief. Mm-hmm. It's kind of a thing where they try to create a Superman out of you, and you're almost kind of forced to wear a cape that don't fit.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's it.
Good.
It's your turn, Michael.
That's good. A cape that don't fit. I need to pen that for later. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think especially in our community, a lot of times, especially as men, we're taught that it makes you weak to talk about mourning, and if a man cries. And for me, mourning my father, he was a big pillar in the community in Orlando, Florida. He was a surgeon. He was one of the first black surgeons in Orlando, and with me being a physician as well, it's like we're always taught to, we're always looking out for everybody else but ourselves,
Yep.
and we neglect our own health. We don't have time to go to the gym. We don't have time to see our families. Sometimes it's your people who are married, the marriage suffers. So anyway, I think that this is a great platform, and it helps us to be comfortable as men, even with all the pressures of life and even my personal pressures of the things, what comes along with my profession. I need an outlook. I need some type of, release as well. So
I think Mr. Jason got.
For me, once again, I'm grieving my father more recently, and played a humongous role in my life. And the crazy part is I'm starting to realize how instrumental he was the older I get, and I'm starting to realize how instrumental he was since he left. As I'm getting older, I was really big on, and I really got into this as I'm heading into marriage. Like, my love language is my number one is words of affirmation. That is what my dad did the least. I didn't hear him tell me he loved me until I was like 23, 24 years old.
Okay.
And he told me when the first time he had cancer, and I think he thought he was about to transition. But saying that to say, didn't realize the importance of it, but his actions always spoke so much louder than his words. And now that I'm transitioning to that marriage space, transitioning into more leadership roles, I'm starting to find myself like have those same tendencies where I lead with action, but I may not always verbalize how I feel about it. And last thing, to Marcus's point, he said something so key that, I mean, just triggered me when you were talking about we aren't taught to grieve in church.
We are not.
I remember growing up, and they used to always talk about the bereaved, and I thought bereaved was like a family.
Okay.
Like I didn't know that was like my whole childhood. I didn't realize that was like this mob that was talking about people who were grieving the loss of, or talking about sick and things. But you said something so key when you were like, man, they talked to us about grief, but didn't teach us how to grieve.
That's it.
And us as creatives, so many times we use our craft as the outlet, but still that's for other people.
That's it.
Like,
That's
and
it.
we do nothing for us. Like, so still it may get us through in the meantime, but long term it still doesn't get to the heart of the issue.
All right, Pastor Jason.
I know. Look, y'all got me thinking.
I've
Want
heard
to
a
say
lot of
some
people
stuff.
say stuff like, when singers or stuff like that, oh, she's singing like that because she's grieving her mama, or he playing like that because so and so passed. But that's for you.
That's for you.
We're singing and we're playing,
That's right.
and we're doing this for you. When we go home,
We
we crashing. So it's like I agree. You never get that chance to grieve for yourself.
I touching on that, I think that's because that's an outward, not necessarily projecting, but that's an outward thing. When it comes to the crafts and the arts that we all have, we do have a tendency to resort back to what we are comfortable with.
Yep.
It may be music for y'all. For me, it's the things that my dad taught me. I am, and Lord, y'all forgive me if I crash and burn through this. It was just a few months ago that my dad passed. March 7th. And I'm just trying to hold it together. My father was him. My dad was bigger than life to me for a lot of reasons. He played, again, like before I said, he played football, professional football. I wanted to walk in his shoes. Big shoes to fill, and I tried my best. And I can only hope and pray that he's proud of me. My father taught me a lot of things. I'm good with my hands. When it comes to building stuff, painting and all that kind of stuff, I got it from him. And so here recently I found myself, and my wife can attest to this, I'm not one of those that project outward. I turn inward and I get quiet. I try to find solitude in myself. And I go to doing things around the house, building stuff, cleaning up, fixing things, whatever the case may be, until I can't move no more. When that runs out, that feeling that I'm feeling runs out. So I just try to carry it on out the way. Excuse me. But my dad, my mom, my brother, I said that in the beginning, it's a multitude of family members, and it's just a lot of grief to hold on to. And for me, it's doing the things that my father taught me. And one thing that I think Jason said the last episode was or either it was Tony. One of them said something about the fact of it's not when they call you and they tell you, it's up to you now, to walk in. And I realized that now I'm walking in my own power. They did what they did. They showed me what they showed me. They taught me. I can't carry what my dad carried. You know what I'm saying? I can't do that. Not to the magnitude that he did. His family, not my family. His ways wasn't my ways. So I take what I learned from him and apply it to my everyday life. The love language thing. My outlook on everything has changed since the fact the day he died.
You going on answering a whole bunch of, you like going into some more questions.
I'm sorry.
Did you look at our
so
questions? I was gonna say, did you look at our questions?
No,
We just
but-
on the introduction. You know,
Organic, man.
I mean,
Gave y'all an outlet. Y'all just.
we finna not have a podcast. We're gonna put a pause right there though, because you just saying
Yeah.
something that's a question that we got later on. So
Yeah.
I want you to pause because it's important for you to not to forget
Yes, ma'am.
what you just said.
He said yes, ma'am.
So we can let the other guys introduce because
I'm so
it's
sorry,
a question it's a question you just said that we got. I
Did
don't
y'all
want to
have
lose
something?
it. Y'all want we got to
Thank y'all,
introduce.
husband and wife. Did one of you guys?
We're still
I'm
on
gonna
the
reiterate the
introduction.
question.
Right.
What did you lose? You guys told us what you lost. What role did it or them play in your life?
Well, I lost my dad in October of 24. And I mean, that was my daddy, he was a provider. Like he did for me and my sisters and my mama. Like anytime I needed something, Dad, is something wrong with my car? Well, bring it up here and let me look at it. I don't know nothing about no car. I mean,
Just be honest.
Yeah. So like, anytime I needed something, he was there. If I was moving, he was there. So it was just, that was my guy. And, it's been a rough 8 months, but, I'm still here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
For me, like I stated, I lost my mom when I was 19. I was entering an unfamiliar space. I was first generation college student from my immediate family. So I was highly successful in academics in school. Mostly what drove that was my mom. So when you talk about what I lost my inspiration. I lost the only person that I knew on this earth that loved me unconditionally. So, and it was one of those situations. She got diagnosed with cancer when I was 7th grade. She had surgery, went through the therapies and the chemos and the radiations, and was in remission and doing well. She ended up going back to school and completing something that she started, back in the day. Then my 11th grade year, she got sick again. The doctor said that the cancer had come back, and it pretty much spread across her whole body. And in the hospital room that day, the doctor looked us in the eye and said, "Miss Levy, I'm giving you 6 weeks to live." So 11th grade, I had 2 older brothers. We cried, that's the only thing I knew to do at the time was cry. And my mom cried, we held each other. Then all of a sudden she stopped crying. She wiped her tears, she wiped my tears, she wiped my brother's tears, and she said, "No, I just saw both of my older sons graduate high school. I'm gonna see you graduate high school too." And I'm thinking like 6 weeks, I'm 11th grade, that's 18 months away. I didn't see that happening based on what the doctor had just said. But long story short, she willed her way to see me not only graduate valedictorian of my high school,
Wow.
she saw me enter college, playing the sport I love, excelling and doing the things that I wanted to do. And second semester of freshman year, that all just kind of came crashing down because she transitioned. She passed away. So that was the first major loss that I had ever experienced in my life. And it was the loss of all losses, right? I grew up, I didn't have a relationship with my father, I grew up, I had a big family, so the love was there, but there's no love like a mother's love.
Tell you the truth.
So when that happened, I lost all motivation to do anything. Like I said, I quit going to school. My GPA was like a 1.8, you know. Even though I had teachers that come to my mom's funeral, they still failed me that semester, knowing what I was going through, you know. So with that being said, that's what I lost, you know. And it was hard to grieve because the first thing that people said was, he's smart, he'll figure it out. He's got to learn how to be a man. How, you know? So those things, it was just very difficult at that time.
I don't even want to say the behind that. That was deep, like, yeah, leave. But I too, like I said, recently lost my mom. Well, recently lost everybody. You know what I'm saying? It was just grew up around strong women. And I ain't talking about bitter baby mamas. I'm talking about strong women.
Yeah.
So it was like, my mom was like the ultimate bad girl. That's what she called herself, bad girl. So it was just like, my mom fell October 21st of 2023, you know? So when she fell, she hurt her hip. Dementia had already set in, so she was going through dementia. So looking at who I would call my hero, even though we bumped heads all the time. I was an adolescent kid, but reason we would get into it so much because we were so much alike. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like watching her, like my mom would tell you, as ever say, put that stuff on. My mom was the queen of putting that stuff on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like watching this woman I know gonna make sure she got her perfume on, make sure she wearing me even when she stopped driving. You finna take me to Belk, I gotta get my powder.
That's it.
My Estelada powder. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, she gonna make sure she was that girl at all times. You know, like we watch our sneaker drops or whatever we into. She knew Dooney got a new bag dropping, baby.
That's it.
I'm gonna be stunting on her when I get it. I'm like, and she'd be like, I learned that from my boy, stunting on her. Stuff like, it was just like, she was cool like that. So it's just like, to watch my hero become bedridden. You know what I'm saying? She wiped my tail as a child, and I gotta wipe her. I gotta bathe her. And then it was just like watching her go from feeding and driving and stepping to now having to get a feeding tube. And all this within a 6 months time. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like to watch your hero fall so quickly. You know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was rough, and I'm trying to steady work and do everything. And now it's like insurance problems going on. So now I got to buy hospital beds, gauze, you know, Amazon bringing packages daily of diapers and changing pads and all this. And it was just like, it was a lot, you know what I'm saying? But what's crazy about it, my mom had prepared me for all that, not even knowing. My same thing happened with my grandfather, because dementia running in our family. My grandfather had dementia, so I was 8, 9 doing the same thing for my grandfather, changing him, feeding him, knowing how to put the catheter on, knowing how to, it's crazy, but we keeping it real. I learned how to put a condom on by putting the catheter on my granddaddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know nothing. Like, just roll it down and put a little tape around it. He can be pee in the bag. You know, it was a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's a 8, 9-year-old. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a lot.
It prepared me for when my uncle, he got sick. You know what I'm saying? My auntie husband, I did the same thing for him. Bathed him, took care of him. So I was a caregiver way before going into the medical field. You know, so it was like, by doing that, I was ready. And my mom always, like, she was a nurse at the VA Medical Center, retired, you know. So I was always at the hospital with her, watching her do her thing. So it was just like, I always been a caregiver not knowing it. So it's like, that just became my spirit, period. So it's like, whether friends, family, people sick, you know, like, that's just a passion of mine. I'm going to be there. Whether you can be healthy, I still feel a need to help. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes not knowing that I need to help myself. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, as far as grieving, like I said before, I never knew how to grieve, never taught how to grieve. I didn't know what grief was. You know, so it was just like, to me, grief is sitting at a repast eating chicken and cake. Now you supposed to be over when the funeral over. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, me, I'm like, nah, like, I don't know. So it's like I said, I'm still dealing with grief. I'm still learning grief. You know, somebody like busting out crying, all I'm knowing I'm emotional. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, but it's like, with my mom and family and everybody alive, they have a way of letting me know to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Just like, no matter if I'm walking through Kroger, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still literally see my mama all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like them unexplainable blessings come from somewhere. You know, it's like I be broke some days. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I don't have nothing. All of a sudden, that cash app go out. I see you, girl. I see you. You know what I'm saying? That's you. Like, you showing me you still got me. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, even like, And I had, you know what I'm saying? I know people don't like, but the term baby mama, my daughter mother, my baby mama, we had a time. We would go back and forth. I'm just like, out of all the women in the world, I get a baby by this crazy lady. But even though we bump heads all the time, that was my best friend at the time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, when she transitioned, and my daughter's so much like her.
Yeah.
Good and bad.
Yeah.
So it's like we bump heads. Me and my daughter bump heads. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, at the same time, she have a way to let me know I still got your big head self. You know what I'm saying? I'm still here.
Yeah.
Like, dealing with child support, income tax getting took. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything I went through, mourning with my baby mama, and then all of a sudden I get a letter in the mail. Wait a minute, we owe you money. You paid child support, you weren't even supposed to pay. By the time you did something for me, girl, return the pay. So it's just like, just dealing with so much and losing so many people, it's just like, I have my days. Some days I'm happy, some days I'm sad.
Yeah.
But most of the time, you know, I just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dealing with death this past 2 years has taught me so much.
Yeah.
Some I didn't want to learn, some I had to learn, you know, but it's like, I just say take it one day at a time.
Yeah.
But to answer the question, losing my mom was the hardest thing. You know what I'm saying? So that was it.
So it was something that you just said that kind of like pushed us to this next question. Excuse me. You said that it was a lot of things that happened that you experienced during the grief that you never thought would happen. This next question says, what has been the most unexpected thing that you have experienced during your grief journey? Be it from a person, the experience itself, you never went through this in your life, but after your grief journey, you started experiencing it. What was something that was unexpected that hit you? And we don't have to go in a particular order.
Well, for me, since I'm holding the mic, I'm going to answer this one. For me, the change of people. It's just people that I looked at in certain light my whole life, and grief come and death come, and you see their real colors. And it's just like, some good, some bad. Some people stepped up that I wouldn't even think would step up. You know what I'm saying? But then there's some people I would think would be there, wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? Or changed over money. Them insurance policies real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's so much just learning people. Like, those are the biggest thing that I learned, just people. Like, friends, family, in-laws, everybody. And it's just like, grief, or it's like I said, I'm also grieving a divorce. You know, so it's like, just the change of people that I show ultimate love for, you know what I'm saying? Let an incident between me and somebody else affect the relationship that I have with them. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, it's just a lot. Like, just dealing with a lot, learning a lot, and like, just my main thing, the way people change. Like,
that's good.
Attitudes, the way you're looking at them. You know you haven't done nothing personal to this person, but this person feels some kind of way over a coffee table that your mom had, or a shift roll, or any kind of thing that's left in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, your mom should get at to me. We done had this table 30 years. Like,
why you
feel the need of it now? You know what I'm saying? So it's little things like that.
That's good.
Anybody else?
Can you repeat that for me, Nick? Can you repeat that again?
Yeah. So the question said, what has been the most unexpected thing that you've experienced during your grief journey? Be it from people, the actual journey itself, something that you never thought that you would have to experience during your grief journey.
I didn't expect myself to go into some of the lowest places of my mind, you know, and that's the surprising thing for me. I'm glad I did, which is kind of crazy to say, because when you go low, or when you get low, you ain't got nowhere but to go up. That's all you can do is go up. And I thank God for that. I thank God that he was with me in the lowest of places and brought me up to the highest of places with him, and understanding that it's going to be okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, for me, I didn't expect to still be grieving 23 years later.
That's true.
So unlike most of you guys, from what I'm hearing, I'm still grieving as a teenager. Like, I didn't know my mom past the age of 19. So everything I recollect is as a child. And even at my age now, I still grieve in that same way. You know, I never expected that. Even with a family of my own, And even with some of the accomplishments and accolades that I know that she'll be proud of, it's still rough. Before we started this show, you were playing Anita Baker on your phone. Anita Baker was my mom's favorite artist. If I hit the play button on my Apple Music on a jazz or R&B playlist, Anita Baker come on, guaranteed I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? And that's 22, 23 years later. So that's really my most unexpected part of grief.
Yeah. Anybody else on this?
I guess the most unexpected part of grief for me would be, I guess still going back to, what I'd see every day, and especially when I was working in the hospital, we see this time and time again, multiple family members, man, Doc, what would you do if this was your person? And it's like, for the most part, I think most healthcare professionals can take themselves out of it and try to be objective and say, well, we're looking at this, we're looking at all the data, and he or she's this old, they've got this, whether it's cancer, whether it's heart failure, COPD, they're 90 years old, most likely they wouldn't survive a cold process, recommend DNR, all that. But I think what really hits home is that, when it came to me, seeing my own father, and even though, he wasn't in the household growing up, but, we still had our own relationship, and knowing that he was the one who was doing the things that I do now, like operating on people, helping them. He's always been the strong one. And then to see, for a doctor to call me when I'm up here in my training program at the university, and this guy's at Florida Hospital saying, hey, I'm calling to tell you we did everything we could for your father, man. I just wanted to call you out of respect because he helped train me when I was in my training, and we coded him for 40 plus minutes, and his heart just gave out, this and that. And I said, man, so that was so tough for me. And then, so I think the most surprising thing was that feeling that, that comes over, because I mean, even then, I had, pronounced people deceased, but it's like, and I had been to other funerals in our family, and, my grandma had passed and other people, but it was like, dang, this guy had 9 lives, you know what I mean? And it was like nothing could take him out. Yeah. And so that was unexpected to me, to feel that feeling after, having to help so many people through it, patients and different things. Mm-hmm. And so it was so different when it hit home with me, and that changed the way I deal with things in my own practice. You know what I mean? Like, I could always, I would always be the type of guy that could, be understanding. But it like to truly empathize with people, I think that's what makes it totally different, for us as provider. Like, when you been through something, man, you can truly, then you can truly provide the best advice or care for somebody. You know how that feels. Yep. And then when I lost my aunt in Maryland, that was really unexpected. She died in a car accident, and coming from church, and it was like, man, she's here doing the Lord's work and coming and, it was like she had so many things she wanted to do. And I think that changed it for me as well, because it was like, I think all of us sitting around here know that nobody's guaranteed to live forever. But when you see something like that, that's so unexpected, it's like, man, all this procrastinating we do, like, I'm waiting for the right time to, go back to school. I'm waiting for the right time to pay off my house, waiting for the right time to get married, waiting, I feel like, man, let's stop all the waiting. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You don't know. She's coming from church and getting a T-bone accident with a big truck. So that was, for me, was so surprising as well, like, just to see how life is truly finite. And it ain't guaranteed, man. So whatever it is, you got people that love you, that are there. It taught me to say, if it's something you want to do, a trip you want to take, you don't worry about paying off student loans. Them loans going to be there. Yeah. I ain't worried about it. When they call me student loan, I start speaking Spanish. Like, I'm not even, So anyway.
Are you right about that? They're going to have to get them student loans back. Get them back in blood, baby. I'm sorry, this is going to be live. Sally Mae don't. But for me, and I won't be long at all, but it got me to thinking the most unexpected thing for me was to be outwardly okay so fast. It's like the first died May 11th. I preached my dad's eulogy the following week. But it's like after the eulogy, like there have been no more tears. There have been no more I won't say moments of sadness, but I hadn't been low a whole lot. So I think that was the thing that was unexpected for me. But then I started to realize, and this goes for all men, like grief looks so different for everybody.
Yes.
And for me, it was to overwork. For me, it was to keep my hands in so much that I didn't have time to process it. And I even see it to this day. Like y'all just told me it's Father's Day today, and I said I've been good. But when I thought about it, it's like you got up for sound check at 6 o'clock. You led worship, and then you were doing the men thing. Then you were in church till 11. Then you got in the meeting right after that, and then you went out to eat with your fiance and her people. And then y'all talked. You went home. You took an hour nap. Then you got up. You started working on the grant proposal. Then you came here. I overworked so much, and that's been my coping mechanism. But
Can I ask you a
that's
question? You remember you said that words of affirmation was your dad really didn't do that much? It was more action?
Yeah.
Do you think they play a part in how you
No,
were?
absolutely it does. Because and I got that in therapy after my grandfather passed though. And man, it blew my mind because the therapist was like, Jason, do you think the reason why your hands are in so much is because you're looking for that one affirmation that you never got? And she asked me,
what I was waiting on.
she said, how many times have you, and this was when I was 22, this was when my granddad died. She asked me, my therapist, she was like, how many times have you heard your dad say he loved you? And I was like, ooh, no, never. She's like, how about he's proud of you? And then I was like, I ain't never. And I knew he was, like, he was there, but I never heard it. So, that coping mechanism still exists. I think I do so much because even the affirmation that I'm waiting for and won't verbally get because he's transitioned, is like, it's this overworking for it, still yearning for it. Yeah.
That's good. That's so good. That's so good.
Which kind of you want?
Mark.
Go. Hold the mic. Hold the mic as we pivot into this question, which is good because every time y'all end off with something, it's kind of like y'all
right
easing
into
into the next question. So so how has grief changed you as a man, a husband, a brother, a son, a human being? And I ask because I know for me, both me and my sister, I think I can speak with her, like we have done a whole.
I mean,
baby,
the people just say they don't know who we are anymore.
Don't know who y'all are, and I mean that's amazing. We love who we are now. So
and never expected to be this person.
Never
I thought about that
expected
the
to be
other
that
day.
person.
I was saying some of the things that I'm doing now. I probably years ago would have said, "Now, Wanda, that's not you." You know what I'm saying? Or why are you doing it? But now it's like this is totally me, and I am okay with it. Right.
I asked her on the piggy, like, what do y'all mean by that? Like, people didn't think that y'all would be these people. Like, what do you mean by that?
For me and both her, more her. Rhonda was so quick to, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can do this. Yes, I can be there. Yes, because I don't want to disappoint anybody. Now, Rhonda,
I will say no.
I will not be there.
In a heartbeat.
I will not come.
She told her no a few times.
Oh, yeah. She'll do it now.
Y'all did not have to bust me out.
She'll do it.
But that's what I'm saying. It used to be to a point to where because I didn't want to disappoint y'all my brothers, that even if I was tired or didn't feel like it, or if I had just ran from China or whatever, I'm going to say yes just because y'all asked. But then it got to a point that I was like, I can't.
I cannot.
I cannot.
I believe. She won for 10.
I wasn't, what'd you say?
You won for 10.
And so Marcus, and I would feel so bad afterwards. At first I'd be saying, Marcus, Jason, I just can't. And I would feel so bad. But then afterwards, I was saying, but if I press myself to give them a yes, how am I going to show up? You know what I'm saying? Am I going to really give what you're looking for? And I'm not, because I couldn't be 100%. Go ahead and say something.
But we didn't press you because
no, you did.
Because we understood.
Y'all understood.
And that's let me tell you something. That's the difference. When you just said y'all understood. It was something that you said earlier about one of the most unexpected things that you experienced was people and how people change on you. A lot of it is because people change on you because they're still expecting you to be the person that you were before you lost whatever it is that you lost. and y'all understood like she's not that person anymore.
I think they. Oh, I'm sorry. I think that goes to the question you asked, like how did it change, and the importance of people, because all of us were in that decision to like, hey man, let's get run over to the church to do this, but it was actually Marcus who was like, well, now let's chill out for a second, because he knows what that feels like. He's lost a mother, and at the time I hadn't lost it, I hadn't experienced that, but I mean I think that goes to like how the or how it changes you, and I think for me to that point is it's made me a whole lot more compassionate.
Yes,
it's made me a whole lot more compassionate, and that's my short answer.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
For me, going back to my dad, my biological father is still living. We don't have much of a relationship, but the guy who I grew up with, known as my father, he died when I was 8. So it changed me to learn how to be a good father to my girls, because I strive to be for them what I didn't have. So it actually changed me for the better, because it taught me how to honestly, it taught me how to be a man in ways, because I've never really been around many men like that in a father figure capacity. So, yeah, that's what it did for me.
Oh, yeah.
Well, for me, it taught me patience. Like, usually I'm like, let me go and do this. I need this done right now. But seeing my dad in the hospital, seeing these tubes in him, seeing my mama sitting right there, seeing all these nurses taking their time doing things. Then when they brought my dad home, because they basically said, it wasn't anything else that they could do for him. When they brought him home, my mama, she just stood there. And she looked at me and she said, take your time with whatever you're doing. Don't rush this, because it's going to happen on its own. Like, my patience is at an all-time high now, because just seeing that firsthand, it was an experience for me. Like, because like I said, I'm going to get up and go like, nah, you need to do this now. But everybody doesn't think like that. So, like, the patience that I saw my mom have with him, and then saw the nurses and the doctor have, it instills something in me that lets me know, be still, slow down. Like, it's too much going on. Just slow down and be cool.
Oh, yeah, good. That's good.
It for me, it changed. I feel like it changed me in a positive way when it comes to home life, when it comes to my marriage. My mom and dad were married for 51 years, respectively. And I
know, right?
It wasn't
so sweet.
It wasn't always a walk in the park. That many years together, you're gonna have up and downs. I was a witness to both ups and downs, and sometimes the downs outweighed the ups. But whereas in those moments where I felt like I didn't want to be like my dad, I pushed against it and wanted to be different. I am walking in that light now. I see my wife in a different light. I see her with a different love. I see my children in a different light. And I'm just trying to be more present, as opposed to being present and not there. It's a lot of times that you can be in a place, but you're not there.
Present,
So for me, I've learned to love a little stronger, hug a little longer, and to cherish it, because when it's all said and done, it's all said and done. We don't have an opportunity to hug one more time. We don't have an opportunity to say, I love you. We don't have that. So I'm trying to take advantage of the time that I do have and make it count.
For me, it made me a go-getter. The reason I say that is because I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have anything to fall back on. I didn't have a security blanket. Even when my mom passed, we didn't have the proper policy set up to bury her. We had to raise money. And that was mostly me, my brother, and one of my spiritual mentors. And we didn't have a whole lot of time to do it. So we had to grind pretty much, get money to pay for her funeral. And then after that, we were on our own, I mean, we had family, but it seems like right after that funeral, we was just expected as young men to do what we had to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I heard a story from one of my uncles on my dad's side. Like I said, I didn't have a good relationship with my dad growing up, but he heard about the situation. And so on his way home from work, made a U-turn, went to my dad's house, told him what happened, told him what he heard. And my dad's response to him, according to what my uncle told me, was he said, "What you want me to do about it?" And when I heard that, it just changed me. I'm like, okay, I know now, like, I gotta go get it, So even with that, I've been that person for my family. If they need anything, anybody, they come to me first, So that's kind of how it changed me.
Yeah.
Well, as far as for me, my family called me Mr. Make It Happen. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I've wore that title well for years, but due to this process, I'm not even trying to make it happen right now.
Okay.
So it's like,
so glad to hear that.
and it was to like, with me, it's just like, I had to just fall back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I get judged a lot. I'm gonna get judged regardless.
You are.
They're gonna talk crazy. They're gonna talk crazy regardless.
Yep.
So I'm a firm believer, like, it's reason behind everything I do. A lot of people like, he always out of town. He always taking trips. He always doing this. Well, a lot of folks don't know. Me and my mom, we done had the best relationship. But one of the only times that I remember me and my mom having a real heart-to-heart, I was like 6. And we always took trips. Like, my family big on taking trips. So, like, I ain't one of them kids saying, "Mama ain't never took me nowhere." Now, she might have hustled to got me there, but she might have finessed my way on, like, "Look, you sit back with this luggage under here, but we're going to get you there." We got there, you know what I'm saying? But like I said last podcast, my uncle and aunt own a tour bus company. They would take, like, charter buses, like, everywhere doing things. So it was like we were always traveling. So we had a family reunion in Pensacola, Florida. And I remember like it was yesterday, following my cousin Darius, jumped in the pool, couldn't swim a lick. You know what I'm saying? And damn near went to glory. So it was just like, my cousins pulled me out the water, but it was just like, my mama fussed, of course. Mama, she a hothead. She gonna go out. I got my whooping, but out of all the whoopings I got, this is the only time she talked to me after the whooping.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like, the reason I whip you, because I ain't want nothing to happen to you. If my baby died, I wouldn't have been no good. And we sat on the beach in Pensacola, Florida, and I never forget it. Like, that was the first real heart-to-heart me and my mom ever had. Wow. And it was just like, every time I travel, ocean water that sink, I think about that moment. So I just like I said on the reel before, people like, "What you mean?" I feel closer to my mama when I'm by the ocean. You know what I'm saying? That's why. And I never told nobody this, but it's just like sitting by ocean water and just getting there. So sometimes when I be wilding or freaking out or just feeling a lot, I'm finna book a flight. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I'm going to get by the water. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's Mexico, Miami, wherever. I'm by, as long as some beach water and sand, I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm glad you explained it, because I'd be like, Rafe, stay by the water.
That ain't nobody business. That ain't nobody business, So, but it's just like, I just have to go. And I go and I get back grounded and centered. And I'm ready to keep doing this thing called life. You know, so it's like, for me, I just had to learn, like, I don't have to be there for everybody.
You don't.
It's going to get handled. Whether I handle it or not, and it's just like, if you bring it to me, I feel like I have to handle it. Like, my circle's very small.
Yep.
My friends are very small. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I call you a friend, I'm the friend you can call 3, 4 in the morning. I'm going to pull up. You know what I'm saying? But I limit myself to who I mess with because I know how hard I actually look.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's
That's
like,
good.
I'm the perfect ex-boyfriend, the perfect ex-husband, the perfect baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sweet. I'm sweet as bear meat. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with me, like I said, when my baby mom was alive, I was paying the light bill at her husband's house. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my.
And it ain't just to
You a good baby.
make it like, but it was just like, my daughter would spend time over there. You know what I'm saying?
I get your concept.
And my ex-wife tell you, like, we recently just finalized our divorce. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I'm still married sometimes. Like, girl, stop calling me. You know what I'm saying? But it's vice versa. I call her, why do I need to put these pork chops on? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I'm still friends with everybody I love because I love so that I can't stop
love
loving
hard,
people
yeah.
that I once loved. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I can leave the situation, but I can't leave the love I have for nobody behind.
That's good.
You know, but I had to learn basically, like I said, with this process, it's taught me it's okay to tell them you can't do it. It's okay to tell them you're busy. And like I'm comfortable with saying no sometimes. Now.
Yeah.
But you know what, Rafe? You said a couple of times I've heard you say how I don't know how to grieve. But you saying that you went by the water to feel closer to your mom, that's grieving.
That's grieving.
Yeah. See, I didn't know at the time.
You didn't know
what I'm saying? Like I said.
But this podcast.
Mhm. Right. Make sure you come in episode 2. Yeah, episode 6, you know what I'm saying? When Men Mourn Part 2, you know, yeah.
Right.
You learn some things.
So once again, something that you said kind of segued us into our next question. We've heard you guys, your stories and what you had to deal with. But ultimately, do y'all feel supported as grieving men?
And if you don't, how can you feel? How can you? Well, just it might as well
Hey.
just put them all
Do you
together.
feel supported
We can put it
as a
together.
grieving man?
I would say yes. Like I have friends, and you know, even though my mom lost her husband of 35 years, you know, I still can go to my mama. Like yesterday, I was at her house and I ordered some flowers to go on my dad's grave today. And when I opened the box, I said, "Ma, I got to put these down." She said, "What's wrong?" And the tears, they just came. She said, "Baby," she said, "put them up, go take them in that back room back there. I'll finish them." Then when I got back to the couch, my mama was drilling me like I was at a therapist appointment. I was just sitting there looking at her like, "Beverly."
You the one I'm showing.
Yeah, but she's like, you know, I have to make sure my kids are okay. Like I did support, even though my mom is grieving too, I have that support from her. And that means the most to me. Like I can call my mom, it could be 1:00 in the morning. She'll answer the phone. She'll be like, "What's wrong, baby?" I'll be like, "Mom, it's just one of them nights." She'll sit on the phone with me until I get to feeling better.
Because maybe she needs that as well.
Yeah. I'll be asleep. And then I hear her saying, Rudy, you up? And I'll be like,
You don't
"Mom,
know this poor woman.
yeah, go to bed." But this support from my mom means everything in the midst of her grieving too. It means everything to me.
That's good.
You know, I honestly, I'm being transparent. I honestly don't know. It's hard to answer that question when the people that support you are the ones that you're grieving. I don't know. Sometimes I feel, and I'm being honest. Sometimes I feel supported at home. Sometimes I don't, because you're in your own grief. You're dealing with your own. And whereas sometimes I don't know how to support you. And that's just being true. My circle is tighter than that booty. I mean, it's nobody in my circle. Tighter than that booty. Tighter than that.
Y'all can't be serious.
Don't make a joke about anything.
I mean, so where do you? It's been some years, but I mean, where do you turn? You know, the little fly.
I'm over here thinking I heard one.
That's an outcast term. It's an outcast
And if
term.
you got a booty,
It's an outcast term. Tighter than that.
booty.
Okay. Back to your
I thought he said
Yeah.
that booty at first.
Net
I'm like,
booty.
nah, he said an
Y'all
But
I'm about to say, come back to the topic.
and I mean, seriously, I mean, it's really like I mean, in my case, you know what I'm saying, when it comes down to it, it's you know, I have my family that's out there in the world and stuff, but my family is my brother here and my wife and my children. That's my family. And my sister, I'm sorry.
My God.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, I'm 47. Do I turn to my 26-year-old son, my 22-year-old son, my 8-year-old daughter, my 17-year-old son? You know, you. Whereas I'm the one that's supposed to show support to them. You know, so I honestly don't know if I'm supported sometimes. You know, and the only being that I have to turn to is Christ. if don't nobody else support me, he will.
Yeah.
You know, he's with me all the time. So, friends that I used to have that I know more, can't turn to them. So, you know, that's a double-edged sword. I mean, just being honest, I don't know. Sometimes I do feel like I am. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah.
But through it all, I lean on the one that, man, y'all don't understand. I lean on the one that if you ain't got nobody else, you go to him.
Yeah. He gonna be there now.
Yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from. When you are so much to so many people, it's hard to look outside of that for support for yourself.
I mean.
And one surprising thing, or one thing I learned, is that support from other people has a quantitative value. And it's not a lot either.
Yeah.
It runs out pretty quickly. You know, unless that person has a certain kind of love for you, that support can run really thin. Years ago, my spiritual mentor that I mentioned earlier, he was like a father figure to me. One day, a mutual friend came back to me and was like, man, you should have heard what such and such said about you, you know. And it was one of the times that I probably needed a father figure the most. And just hearing what that person had said, you know, negatively about me, when I know they got my phone number. You know, I know they can call me. And one of the few people that can really just check me if I'm in the wrong, you know, but didn't decide to do it that way, but outwardly was, you know, expressing that to people when I wasn't in the room. And that really, that destroyed, you know, a lot of trust and a lot of different things, you know, for other people that I had. So I don't even look for support, you know, from people like that anymore. But I will say, you know, my wife has been there from day one. We've been married. We've been together for 24 years, and we've been married for 14 on Wednesday. Yep. So
Happy anniversary.
thank you.
Well, for me, I just got to piggyback off what he said. That was real. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's a reason a lot of males don't say how we feel. Because even like ones like he said, his spiritual mentor, somebody he trusts the most and can really, only one can really check him, really say something about him that, you know, you wouldn't expect from somebody that you know, you love. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, people be like, well, men don't share, so it's hard to be there for y'all. Because y'all don't share, y'all don't say how y'all feel. But that's one of the reasons why we don't share. And like me, I come from a hood background. Like, I come from a street background. So it's like with me, I was taught, you don't put nobody in your business. You don't let nobody know your family. You don't put nobody in your business. You know what I'm saying? And so with that, with me transition from the streets to business, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I come from an era, last thing you want to do is be on camera. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, from me, it's just like becoming a real man and standing up for my kids and being there for my kids. And like Jeff said, like, who do, you know what I'm saying? Do I go to my kids for, you know what I'm saying, help, for support? And it's like, I can truly say through this process of my mom passing, my two sons, all my kids been wonderful. My two sons been there. You know what I'm saying? Like, me and my 8-year-old, me and Ross run around like we partners, and I might be the worst parent ever, because this is like, I know he's seen stuff he ain't seen, but that's my homie. You know what I'm saying? We ride, you know, whether we up, down, and like, I feel bad as a father with my oldest son, which is Raphael, and it was like, Raphael seen it all. You know what I'm saying? The bad daddy, the good daddy, the business daddy, he's been there. He watched it all, and he still loved me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so knowing his relationship with my mom, like I said, he stayed with my mom since he was 6 months old. Yeah. So it's like, I done had custody of him young. So it was like, I was a teen raising a baby. You know, so it's like, my mom was our mom. You know what I'm saying? Though he was my child, she was our mom. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, watching him grieve is like, I know, and I have to be strong for him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Watching, like, I can't get that picture of my son breaking out of the casket at my mama's funeral. Like I tell everybody, that front row hit different. I don't care. No matter what funeral you go to, when you on that front row, it's a feeling like no other. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but to say I didn't have support, I'm not going to say that, but it's hard to recognize at times. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I got to give my friend Erica, that's my best friend Erica, and my partner Benz. Like I say, they know how to check me. You know what I'm saying? Like, they going to pull up to the crib like, friend get out here. Like I went through depression. A lot of people didn't know. Last year I went through a depression Monday through Thursday.
Wow.
Friday I'm putting my face, go do this wedding.
Yeah.
Saturday do this wedding. Sunday I'm back in the house, lights off. Like don't bother me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see nobody. But it's like trying to mask my feelings all the time and keep it moving and working myself to death. You know what I'm saying? It was like I started having nosebleeds. I ain't had nosebleeds since I was a baby. You know what I'm saying? It was just like having nosebleeds, catching myself just not giving a crap. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a bottle of water could waste. It might sit on the floor 30, 40 minutes before I decide to get the time to get it up. Like I didn't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, bro, that ain't you. Get on your stuff, my boy. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, let's shake it off. And it was just like, luckily having those two friends that be like, friend, wake up. You know what I'm saying? Like, Erica call me every day. Like, look, let's go eat. You know what I'm saying? Let's go get our pancake. We're gonna go to another broken egg. We're gonna get the pancakes. You know what I'm saying? She like, I just know you. And it's crazy because she trying to be there for me while she was grieving on her own. You know what I'm saying? Like her dad had passed. You know what I'm saying? So her dad passed right after my mom passed. So I'm trying to be there for her. We're trying to be there for each other.
Yeah.
But she was more of a friend to me than I was to her at the time because it was just like I couldn't. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, eat whatever you need. I'm there. Hopefully she wouldn't ask at times. You know what I'm saying? Because I really wasn't there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm careful with words now. When people pass and I be like, look, if you need me, I'm one call away. Might not be, but I try to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like learning and people like, what you mean? I'm like, look, it might be one of my days, but reach out and see. I might be able to help. I might not. And it's just like, just dealing with so much and losing so many people, just learning to be strong. You know? So it's like, I always consider myself to be strong. I always consider myself to be there and be the one that everybody go to. But it's like I said, this whole process, these last, year, it's been hard. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I learned a lot about myself. You know what I'm saying? But having someone there is hard to say, like, I know this person had my back. I know this person care. Everything to me, and it's just my mind frame, everything is beneficial. You know what I'm saying? People mess with you where they can benefit from you. You know what I'm saying? As long as they feel like they can get something out of it, it's cool. So it's hard to say somebody there for me because I'm knowing there's alternative motive behind it. So it's like with me, I look at everybody like, okay, what can I give you? What can you give me? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
transaction.
I don't feel like nobody really care. You know what I'm saying? It's like, everybody like, you shouldn't feel like that. It's people that really love, it's people that really care. I ain't seen it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the few people that have shown me love, I appreciate them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my partner Benz and Erica, you know what I'm saying? The two I know without a shadow of doubt, I can call them and be like, bro, I'm going through it. Ben's work too big and work himself to death. You know what I'm saying? The man work 20 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? But if I say he finna shut his business down
for you,
get on your stuff right. What's wrong with you? Fucking up right now. I'm like, you right, bro. You know what I'm saying? It been time like we just sit in the car. You know what I'm saying? Just sit in the car, not even talking. Yeah. Just sitting there. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like, it's gonna get better. You know what I'm saying? It was just like having real people in your corner makes a difference. That simple, bro, I'm just checking on you good. You know what I'm saying? You good go a long way. A hug go a long way.
Hey, you finna go into our next question.
Oh, my bad.
Gotta stop, y'all.
So wrapping up with our last question, it goes into us asking, how can someone support you during this grief journey, during this process? I know some of you said that you don't feel like you may have that support. So how can someone offer support on this journey?
If you really love someone and really care, reach out. A simple you good. Like I said, a simple you good. Or if you see him, don't worry about it. He don't think I'm weird if I give him a hug. Give him a hug. Just like, you was on my spirit. I just want to give you a hug. Sometimes as men, I can't think of the last time I had a genuine hug. Sometimes all I needed was a hug. Wow. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's this process. I didn't realize how important a hug is. You know what I'm saying? You can't think, if you ask any man when the last time you had a hug, you be like, I don't know. Yeah. Whether it's from your wife, your girlfriend, your friend, a child. Yeah. Most men, we don't get hugs. You know what I'm saying? Because we're taught to be okay. Yeah. But sometimes a simple hug, a simple act of compassion or feelings goes a long way. So I just say, if you love somebody, care about them, or they on your spirit, just let them know. Because a lot of times we do love and care about people, but we just don't know how to feel like we don't want to show it or let them know. I feel like we don't have to. Yeah. Sometimes you just need to let somebody know that you care. We need to know that you care. Basically.
That's true. Yeah, I was just going to piggyback on, is it Ray or Rafe?
Rafe.
Rafe. Okay.
Safe Rafe.
If safe. All right. I could go so many. I could build a joke. I could go so many ways with that. Yeah. Okay. All right. Rafe. Like he was saying, man, that goes such a long way, because even currently where I'm working now, there's a Starbucks right there on the corner, and and I know all the Starbucks. A lot of people, they write the little words on there, but it was like, man, I was thinking about some things, whether it was my father and aunt, and even personal relationship, and some things that I lost, and I was feeling real down. And like you said about the hug, the young lady that works in this particular Starbucks, and she wrote something on there. I think I put it on my Facebook story, and it was like, I had to come back into Starbucks and say, man, you don't know how important it is. Like, even though this is just some slogan you putting on there, you are loved, or you are a king, or you are. But I said, man, that goes such a long way. And especially since COVID 2020, like you were saying, people don't even hug anymore, and especially men. Because now you know how it's like awkward whenever you give you don't know to give a handshake or the dap, and y'all always fumble it. You're like, hey, man, and so people are just so, people don't interact anymore. And I mean, I know, after COVID, it was for good reason. A lot of people were scared of contracting and stuff and all that. But it's like at this day and age, man, I think that, like you were saying, that hug and that affection just goes such a long way. And people are just like, we're empty, you know what I mean? And even spiritually, empty from that, emotionally empty. People don't embrace, and everybody's scared of, is this person really for me? Is this person really, are they genuine? Is this somebody who's just there for the fruits, for the loaves and all that? Are they truly here for me? And so that's something that's really missing. So you talk about support. Sometimes I didn't chime in on that last question, but I would say it's a mixed feeling. Sometimes feel supported, sometimes not. But I think, it's so important. So I would just, kind of admonish, whoever's watching this, that a hug goes a long way. A smile goes a long way. Just a genuine gesture, because people want to know. I tell my mom, she was hospitalized twice in Florida, and I put it on my own social media, and people were like, man, is she all right? But I remember asking 2 people in particular down back home in Florida. I'm going to fly home to see her in a couple of days. And I said, well, why don't you, one of them I'm related to. Why don't you just go down there and see her? Oh, all these excuses. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm like, but you're retired. Well, I could go down, I could do this, I could do, well, so-and-so can go see her, but no, but why can't you see her?
Uh-huh.
I said, don't worry about it. I booked me a flight. I'm coming down now. But so that's all I'm saying is just, it's so important to, be there for people, give them a hug if you can. And I tell my mom, people might not know you're back home and sick. She lives up here in Mississippi with me. You got a house in Florida. I'm like, people might not know you're at home by yourself. So sometimes you got to reach out to those people. If they don't know you're there, they not gonna, they don't know you're there. So that's what I would just say.
For me, with the support, it is assurance that I'm going to be there for you. Like, I have friends, like Netta texts me all the time. One of my high school friends texts me this morning. She texts me all the time, but she texts me this morning. Cousins that text me. And I have some ministers at my church. A couple Sundays ago, the choir sung, I Am Redeemed. And I was in the audience, toe up. And after service, I asked him, I said, how are you doing? He said, nah. How you doing? He was like, you've been on my mind the past couple weeks. I saw you in the audience. How are you doing? And he tells me all the time, you can call me. So assurance that you're on this journey, but you're not on it alone. Yeah. Because you can pick up the phone and call me at any time. Mm-hmm. So it's just, like I said, the assurance that people are going to be there for you. That is the support that I love about it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mine might be a little different. Okay. Although I agree with what everybody's been saying, I pride in comforted silence.
Yes. Comforted silence. I like that.
And not isolated silence.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we tell people we need space. Mm-hmm. It's not necessarily space, but to know somebody's there but still provide the correct silence.
Yes. Thank you.
Cause sometimes most men brains, it be real scattered and we be in the wilderness. Although we can't necessarily explain our thoughts, we know what we feel. It's just to express that outwardly. Most times it don't come out right. So for me, I love comforted silence. Like if you know I'm having a moment and you just there, just the space in general, if you let me live in that space and I know you there, I can still be isolated to a degree, but it's comforted isolation. So I do agree with what everybody was saying. No, I ain't knocking nobody's. It's just for me, mine's is that because I don't know, man. Like I know most people see me playing everywhere and they think I'm like be around a whole bunch of people all the time, but my people meter can go down extremely fast. And my cousin know. Like sometimes when church get out, pastor be praying, I'm already on 220. She don't even know I done cleared the building. But
Yes.
It's in the kitchen. Huh?
yeah, so for me, sometimes too much noise, it creates chaos in my mind. And
Y'all talking
I just need comforted silence for me.
Y'all
You said
talking.
that's different than isolation.
Yes.
You can have
Yes,
person there.
because if I'm isolated and it's not comforted isolation, then old people used to say, "Idle mind is the devil's workshop."
Yes,
That's
God.
So then stuff get planted in my head. Man, you could have did this different.
Yep.
You could have did blah blah. Because honestly, man, my mama passed at 8:20 on Sunday morning. I was playing for praise and worship at 9:00, bro. The morning she passed. I closed my mama's eyes. I walked to my car, and I went straight to church. I didn't know nothing else. I played for 5 services that day.
That's strong.
Just running. But it was all because I isolated myself. Because the first thing most men do, we retreat first. Because most time we say we're trying to gather our thoughts. But retreat is still running.
Retreat
Yikes.
is still running.
So
Mine would be,
Retreat is still running.
mine is grace. And grace for the reason that Marcus just said. He thrives in comforted silence. Somebody else might thrive in something different. But if you choose, if you give somebody what you think they need and their reaction is not what you thought it should be, then it can be pretty fragile. You can break some emotions and people might be upset with you. But just because I didn't react the way you thought I did, I think grace is the best way to handle that to me. So, because a lot of people, like I said, fragile emotions, they give you what they think you need and it don't land right.
And they get offended.
What
get
they
offended.
think you need is the key, though.
Yep.
What they think you need.
And I'm jump on that too, because all y'all done said something real. The grace and that silence. Where that comes in as far as the grace is expectation. When you don't meet a person's expectation of what you think that they should give you, it's gonna roughen them fellas. I can definitely appreciate the silence thing. What I would say is, for me, to listen to what's said and listen to what's not said. What you don't say speaks a lot louder than what you actually do say. Really do pay attention to a person's body language, and take into account how you respond to that. One thing I do want to say about Rafe, excuse me, anybody sitting here, the friendship thing, you got some real ones, and hold on to that, man. Cherish that for real, because that friends don't come true friends.
Not no real ones.
Real friends,
They don't come too easy.
they don't come easy, and when somebody's real. They gonna be there when when you expecting them not to be. I got a real one. I can call on. We don't talk all the time, but I can call them. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that, and I respect and I love that. But like I said, just listen to what's said and what's not being said. I think that's most important. because that you don't want to bring that expectation into it and let somebody down. And you don't want to let yourself down in the fact of. So just listen to what people are saying and what they're not saying.
Jason was the last one. Or you want to? Did you have something to say, or
I'm about to say anything to add?
yes?
No, the crazy part is I wasn't gonna respond to the last two questions, but I feel like and again to speak to the power in this podcast, y'all two just gave me language for it, because I'm the complete opposite. When you asked that previous question, do we feel supported? Then I started thinking, I know people support me, but I don't always feel supported. But I don't really have a metric for what support looks like for me right now, because what people consider support, it doesn't land with me that way. But that comforted silence, it's like, that's it. Like, and to Ray's point, like I get the hugs. I'm in a lot of space. I live a very public life. So I'm in a lot of spaces on a lot of platforms where people see me. They're going to hug me. They're going to pray for me. They're going to console me. They're going to send me the words of affirmation. Like I get all of that, but none of it really does anything for me.
Like really what you need.
It doesn't do much for me. Like today, like it's like, I think one of the reasons why it's gone so well because of that comforted silence. Like where I was with people I love, but namely my fiance, she just asked me real quick. She was like, "You good?" But she didn't do much. But I was just kind of at home, and I've been straight, and the presence was there. Like so, that's why I wasn't even gonna respond. But I think all of this just really gave me language for how I feel supported. So. I'm blessed. I appreciate it.
And I know this y'all podcast, but I just gotta say, like, y'all really put it into words for me. But I know with me, I had to have a conversation with my friends, and I had to tell them, like, this is how I want to be supported.
That's it.
Because, like you said, sometimes our expectations or what they give us may not be what we need or want. So let me tell you, this is what I need right now. I may need you to don't isolate and don't pull all the way from me. But give me a little minute to be quiet and get to myself. Because that comforted silence is what I need right now. I don't want to feel like you've left me, though. As long as you tap in and say, hey, I'm here. Whenever you're ready to talk, I'm here. That means the world to me. Sometimes I may need a hug. Sometimes I may need to just laugh. Or sometimes I may need you to say, you good? Cool. All right, I'm sitting right here on this floor whenever you're ready to talk. So I had to have those conversations, though, so I wouldn't be disappointed when my friends did not show up how I wanted them to. Because let's just be honest, they're new to this journey as well.
Yes.
And they are new to
who
the
you
new
are
us
now.
and who we are now. And so they may not know that Net don't want to go and do this, that, and the third. Net want to sit in the house and just chill. So now I have to get to know that Net to give her what she needs. So sometimes we can be selfish and get mad at them for not showing up how we want them to, but they just don't know. So those conversations, and y'all put it in.
Yes.
Great.
And to piggyback off of something you said, I think it was either Zay or Rafe that said there was a comment like, you're always the person that's there, like the make it happen man. So people always can come to you. They can look at you and say, you're going to do it. You're going to be there. You're going to be there. I think for me, when Net said that you have to teach people how to treat you, I had to learn that in this grief journey because I am still to a certain degree, but that one, I am still and was that person that everybody relies on. I mean, in every aspect of my life, I'm the person that they can go to and they can get it done. I mean, I'm a therapist by trade. I mean, on one thing, my day job, I'm a therapist. So everybody's going to come to me and ask me what to do. How do I handle this? How am I supposed to do? What? Okay, you got a session. Can I call you? Can I get on your books? That kind of thing. Then as a performer and a singer, so it's that same thing. Well, can you come do this? Can you come do that? Can you sing? I know you going to come and sing us through this. You know what I'm saying? And so then when I experienced grief, and my mom was not the first time we've experienced grief. We experienced grief our whole lives.
We've also lost our fathers as well.
Both of our fathers. All 11 of my mom's of my mom's sisters and brothers. So those are all of my aunts. My godmother, our godmother. So we've experienced grief. Both my in-laws. It's been nonstop grief. And so in experiencing it, then what I get is I don't know how to show up for the person who is always showing up for me. So if I'm always the person that people go to, then how do I support Rhonda? Because I've never really had to support her before. I've never really had to call and ask her if she's all right, because she was always calling me and asking me if I'm all right. You know what I'm saying? I've never had to have my couch ready for her to lay on, because her couch was always ready for me to lay on. And so that brought me to a point where I had to teach people, this is how you're gonna have to help me. You've never been in that space before. And so I cannot be mad at you because you don't know what to do. So now let me show you how. So if we can go over any teachable moments from what we've learned about today, that's a couple of the things that you guys have said. Teach people how you need to be supported. Tell somebody, I have never heard of comforted silence, but that is perfect.
But that's perfect.
It's perfect. Teach somebody what comforted silence is. Teach somebody what it is to show grace. And you said assurance. Teach somebody what it means to give them assurance, not just, you can call me anytime. Well, what if my anytime is 4:00 in the morning? Did you mean that? Because if you don't mean it, like Ray said, be careful of what you say. Don't say anytime, because if I call at 5:15 and you trying to pull your cover up and I'm needing you to answer your phone, be mindful of what you're saying. So teach people how to hear even the things that you don't say. You said some things that you say, but some of the things that you don't say aloud. To teach people how to hear your body language, because sometimes that speaks louder than words. Teach people how to just sit with you if they don't say anything. So if we had to give you guys some teachable moments from this podcast, I hope y'all wrote some of that stuff down, because what we want you to do is when you leave this space, use it. Because if you have not experienced some of the things that these gentlemen have shared today, I hope you don't. But if you ever do, these are going to be some of the things that you need to be able to not only take and get through. And I don't want to say through, because a lot of people think that when you say getting through grief, that there's a point in time that you're going to stop.
Yeah.
That you're going to stop grieving. You're never going to stop grieving. Okay. But there is a moment where it looks different. Okay. I cry every 3 seconds today, but tomorrow it's every 10 minutes. Okay. So it looks differently. When my mom first died, Net will tell you, I would scream at the top of my lungs just out of nowhere. And I probably would do that. How many times? 25. 25 times. I go outside and walk down the steps.
Get mad that I was not screaming.
And you not screaming with me. Why? Scream or punch a wall or something. It was just pinned up. And then eventually I realized, I haven't screamed in about 2 months. It gets different.
Yeah.
You don't stop. The grieving doesn't stop. It just looks different. It changes. And so you realize that you have gone from grieving, which is the internal experience of the loss, to now you're mourning. And it's an external experience. It's the going to the ocean, Rafe, and smelling those salt water and having a good memory of your mom. That's mourning, okay? So we get to the point to where we're no longer just grieving, but we're now mourning. So it looks different. You're gonna always love. Like you said, I may not be in a relationship anymore, but because you love so hard, that love is gonna always be there. Whatever you lost or whoever you lost, they're not there physically, but that love is always there. And there's gonna always be a way that you can take that love and do something different with it. And that's when we are mourning.
And things will change. People will change. People will come and go. Once you start teaching them who you are and wanting them to treat you a certain way, some people will leave because they're not used to that and they don't want to be that person for you. And that's okay. It's okay. Because I promise you, who you need in your life during this journey, they're going to come and they're going to be there. And it's going to be some unexpected people you're going to find yourself getting close with and get acquainted with. And it's going to be like, I didn't never expect to be cool with this person, but there's a reason.
Yeah.
Because the thing that you thought you lost, God is going to put in your life. Like, see, I had you all the time. So we hope that you guys have enjoyed this second episode, second part of When Men Mourn. We thank y'all. Give yourselves a hand.
Thank you
for being open, so vulnerable, so transparent. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate it.
And so we're going to wrap up season 1. episode 6. Look at me, I almost had a little choke. Listen, I'm really trying not to cry. We had no idea that this is something that was going to continue when we started this. We just knew that we had to put that grief and those feelings that we were having, it had to go somewhere. Wow. And so we put it into this platform, and y'all, the way it has blossomed and not just helped us, because we really did it out of a selfish motive at first. We just needed to do something to help us get through it. But to see how it has helped so many other people, and to watch you gentlemen come in here and say the things that you said and share the way that you shared, we realized that this space was needed. So if nothing else, we are so excited for season 1 of When Mourning Come. We just want to say a few thank yous. We want to, of course, thank our June sponsors again. Joseph Buckner of Heritage Funeral Services was our episode sponsor. We want to thank Lopez the Barber again for allowing us to have this space, Alliance Barbershop. We had a couple of other sponsors. Dalisha Vasquez, LCSW of Therapeutic Evolution, LLC. We talked about, if you haven't found you a therapist, and we talk about some therapists, listen, she's a good one. And I'm not just saying that because she's my best friend. But she's a good therapist. Now I'm trying to tell you, call if you need a Therapeutic Evolution, LLC. We also want to thank the Bailey Cousins crew. Listen, we got some family. We got some family members, and we have a huge family. Y'all heard that we say my mom had 12 brothers and sisters. So there were 13 of them Bailey folks. If they don't just come out the woodworks at one of them. You mess with one, all 12 brothers and sisters coming, and they cousins and nieces and nephews. So these cousins that's out here, it's a lot of us. It's a lot of us Baileys. So Catherine, Gwen, Monique, Tracy, and Tierney, the Bailey cousin crew. Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much. I also want to give a real quick happy belated birthday to this half of When Mourning Comes. She celebrated her birthday June 9th. Everybody celebrate happy belated birthday. And then we also want to, like I said, thank you for all of your support, all of the comments, all of the well wishes. This wraps up season 1. Now listen.
Men's Mental Health Month.
It is Men's Mental Health Month. June is Men's Mental Health Month and Father's Day. So I think this was a perfect episode to wrap all of that up into a nice little package, okay?
We thank y'all for obeying.
Don't do that.
For being obedient to the vision that the Lord gave y'all to provide a platform.
Wow.
For men just to have a conversation in general where they're not judged or belittled or looked at as a weakling. So thank y'all for being obedient, because you could have been selfish and just made this a sexist platform with just the women. Hello?
Look.
My mic's still charged. But no, we appreciate you for real though.
Listen, I have got through 6 episodes
without
and
crying.
have not shared one.
That's too bad you're crying now. Thank you.
A lot of people say, like, you know somebody's story. Like, I can see I can see their story through you. Like, y'all talking about your moms and your dads. Like, I never met them, but I met your mom and your dad through you. And
I know she's finna say, we want you guys to have the opportunity to meet Gloria Jean Chambers through us, okay? When I tell you, we are all the great things that she was. And even though she left so unexpectedly, and a lot of you guys didn't get a chance to meet her, that was the reason we wanted to do this podcast, because we want the world to know who she was, all right? So when you see Rhonda, when you see Net, you see Gloria Jean Chambers. So thank you, girl.
And that's going to wrap up When Mourning Comes.
That's going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up season 1.
Meet us back here on season 2. We gotta.
We was gonna tell them about what we was gonna do.
We finna tell us, baby.
Okay.
I don't get on no camera crying.
Okay, well, get yourself together. Listen, we're gonna break a little bit. Season 1, we're not gonna be gone long. Okay, we're gonna take a little break for the summer. We're gonna take a rest because we're gonna do some self-care. Our videographer and our producer, Brandon Shaw, is about to bring 2 more bundles of joy in the form of twin boys. Shout out, Brandon. He's gonna be having twin boys, he and his wife, this summer, so he needs a break too. So we're gonna break and let them bring those beautiful boys into the earth. And so there we'll be back sometime in September for season 2. If you guys have some ideas, listen, you've been giving us your ideas already, so don't stop.
We see them.
And we see them, I promise. We might not be able to get to all of them, but we're going to try to bring season 2 to you with some of your ideas. So if you have ideas, drop them in the comments, give us an email, Facebook us, DM us. I don't know those terms because I'm really not a social media person, but give us your ideas. We're going to try to drop some little content in between the break, so it's just not a long break. So we'll come to you with a few things. But with that, we want you to just take a look back and look at some memories from this season. Okay, so take a look at this recap.
Guys, I'm Net.
I'm Rhonda,
And
welcome to what?
Okay. Yep.
Okay, do it again.
Hi guys, I'm Net.
I'm Rhonda,
And welcome to
When Mourning Comes.
What's the name of the show? Hi guys, I'm Net.
And I'm Rhonda,
And welcome to When Mourning Comes.
Scream, cry, yell, why did it have to happen? It hurt so bad.
This is real. And what was so crazy was a lot of people ask, well, is your mama sick or this, that, and the third? You know how people ask you
was she? Has she been
what
ill?
is going on? And the crazy thing is, no, she was not. None of that was going on. So this was very unexpected. We actually was waking up to go shopping, like you said, and she was gonna make some breakfast for us. So waking up to that, that was my worst nightmare. That was the worst day of my life. So after then, like I said, life as I knew it was no more. No more. No longer.
Rhonda, can you come sing at our pastor's anniversary? I'm not gonna be able to do it.
I don't.
So when I tell them no the first time,
having a birthday party, no.
Please.
Everybody, welcome back to When Mourning Comes with Rhonda and Nick. Relationship love, but the love you find within mourning and defining what grief is. Like she said, grief is just simply love with nowhere to go. So we're going to break down to keep us outline and
So we'll know where we
so we can know where we're going. So you can understand it better. We're going to break down the word love, and that's how we're going to lead this episode. So the L in love is going to be learning the difference between mourning and grief, because a lot of people don't know the difference between mourning and grief. They think it's the same thing.
Good morning again. We are back for episode number 3. Rhonda, we are on episode number 3.
It does not
Can
feel
you
like
believe that?
No, it doesn't feel like we've done 3 already now.
I know.
And the
but
people still with us.
they still with us.
You start realizing that there are so many other pieces that you are now grieving. It's not just the actual initial loss, but then there are so many other losses and things that you didn't realize was going to come along with the grief. I lost my, how do I want to put it? My sense of security, I guess. My sense of self. I'm a late mom.
Late bloomer.
I didn't have I'm not gonna tell you how old I am, but my daughter just turned 8 yesterday. Okay, and most of the people that are my age, they have children that are now in college.
Yeah.
That have graduated. All of my cousins and other family members and friends, as they were raising and rearing their children, they had their mom, to call and say, well, hey, her nose running, what do I do? She fell and scraped her ankle, whatever. So what do I do? And so when mama left, I already didn't know what I was doing as a mom, but I really didn't know. I couldn't call her to say, she has a temperature of this. Is this the temperature that I need to give her medicine on, or is this a temperature that I just need to let it ride out? I didn't.
Back to When Mourning Comes, and this is episode 4.
The church is actually the people that come together and create the body of Christ. And unfortunately, we had some moments to where we did have faith in people, and that faith entered into mourning and to grief because we lost our faith in people. In some instances. So as we talk about being able to question God and asking him, like, why this, and people are telling us that you shouldn't. We had people that would tell us, just accept what God allowed. Pastor Tate said when we were asking him about it, he said, I got to look at my cue card because it was really, really good. He said, you can question God and you can doubt God. Just doubt God with God. Good morning, everybody. And I know, you know what, Ned, we say good morning every episode. And I know a lot of people be asking us, like, why are you saying morning?
Yeah.
Good.
And it films at 8 o'clock.
Right, and it shows at 8. It's not good morning like it's the morning time, but morning, because that's what we're trying to get to, right? Morning.
Exactly.
Right. Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of When Morning Comes. I know y'all are looking like this is not your typical.
It reminded me of The Lion King when Simba, he didn't go back to reclaim what was truly his until he looked at his father's reflection in the water.
Oh, you teaching.
And oftentimes we do have to do that. I've heard somebody say that grief is love with nowhere to go. Many times we get angry with others, and I guess this is my pitch to them about grief, but many times we get angry with other people because of what we feel they're not doing for us. But with grief being love with nowhere to go, put that love on you.
Come on, John.
Don't expect anybody else to stop running, stop going, stop doing if we haven't stopped running, stop going, and stop doing. To spend time to see what is it that I need. And so that would be my pitch. Love on you.
Yeah.
Give you the love that you've given, especially as men, to your wife, your children, to everybody else. Learn to love you and ask yourself the question, how have I loved on me lately?
That's good.
That's all right.
Guess what? I'm taking over right now. It's my podcast. What we doing? We gotta say toast to everybody. Season 1. These ladies did a wonderful job. We had a great time. Shout out to, what was that episode? 5 and 6, you know what I'm saying? When Men Mourn 5 and 6, they showed number love. I'm here, I'm taking over. So this is what we're gonna do. We gotta toast to these lovely women. We gotta toast to this first season, and we're gonna see y'all season 2. Let's go. When morning comes.
When morning comes. Good job. See y'all season 2.
The pain would never end. We've come to share some hope and help you realize